What up, what up, what up, y'all? It's your boy Chris Collins from Chris C Speaks, part of the Cool Speak family. And I'm super excited to be here with y'all today to give y'all some of these cool tips so that you can lead now, but also prepare to lead in the future no matter where you go. So, as a student leadership expert, someone who was an excellent student leader on college campus, and I'm not just tooting my own horn, I got facts to support that, but someone that's been in your shoes before, what you're signing up to do is hard. Signing up to be a student leader on a college campus is probably one of the most challenging things you can do because you have to remember that first you are a student, right? So you got to make sure your grades are right. You got to make sure you're getting the content. You got to make sure that you're doing those things in the classroom that allow you the privilege and freedom to be able to go be a student leader. But then also on top of that, on top of the studying and the test and all that comes with being a good student, you're adding on the pressure, the responsibility of leading yourself and leading others. You're adding on the responsibility of meetings and committees and community service and conferences and all those great, amazing things that not only add to your resume, but add to the fullness of the college experience. But it also adds some more stuff for you to do. So when you are trying to figure out how do you make all of this work, how do you make sense of all of these different opportunities, there are a couple of things that you have to do to really be able to focus in and make the best out of your leadership. The first thing I want to tell you, and I want you to write this down, like take some notes on this. The first thing I want to tell you is that leadership is a verb. I travel all across the country. I speak to students, professionals, educators, college students like yourself, and I tell them every time leadership is a verb. It's not about your title. It's not about how long you've been doing something. It's not about how passionate you are. It's about what you do. It's about the impact, the quantifiable impact that you make on your campus, in your community, and for your future. And I am going to give you three questions that you can always ask yourself, that you can use to kind of navigate the myriad of opportunities that you're going to have as a college student so that you can make leadership a verb, so that you can make the efforts and energy that you put out there not just about what you did or the experiences, but that you can really make an impact on your campus, in your community, and more importantly, for your future, for your career, so that you can lead anywhere. Leadership, the skills that you're going to talk about, the skills we're going to talk about today, they're universal. Okay. So the first thing is this: you have to know how to focus. Yeah, I said you got to know how to focus, man. There are an infinite amount of distractions or opportunities on the college campus. There are hundreds of organizations. And if you don't have one, they don't have one you like, start it. Right. So you have all these opportunities to be able to pool your energy in one place, but you only have a finite amount of energy. So in order for you to maximize your impact, you can't spread your energy too thin. You have to focus on the things you do well and turn those things into the things that you are good at, and then develop that goodness into greatness. You have to focus on the things you do well, become good at them, and then take that good and elevate it to great. Now, oftentimes folks try to skip a step, right? They don't want to get good at something. They want, man, I'm just trying to be great. Well, you got to get good first, right? You got to get good, learn the discipline that it takes to really do something well, and then you can start to elevate and move to greatness. Here's what I mean by that. If you aren't great at math, why are you trying to be the accountant on the board? Like, I don't need you counting the numbers if you can't do the math. That math ain't mathing right. Right? So why would you put yourself in a position where you aren't going to succeed? But if you have the gift of gab and you know everybody on campus, you might be the best person to be the publicity or the community service chair because you know how to connect with people in a way that gets them to see the vision, see where they fit in it, and now they want to be a part of what you're doing. So now you can take an event that may have 20 people, but because of your connections, you can make it have 200, right? So put yourself in a position where you are going to succeed, where you can do what you do and do it well, be good at it, and then elevate it to great. The way that you elevate it to great is by holding yourself accountable to a standard of excellence that allows you to be able to see quantifiable results and impact. So often I hear folks talk about, man, Chris, when I was on the yard, I did this. And I'll say, well, great. Show me. Where's the proof? Right? Where's the social proof? Where's the evidence that you were actually out there putting in this work? What changed based off what you did? And when you can't answer that question, you may have been good, but you certainly weren't great. See, you want to be able to say, in my time, I was able to help over 150 students be able to get book scholarships for $500 based off the community service that we did. In my time, I was able to help 35 mothers who were either single or who were first generation college students be able to pay for diapers, formula, or daycare. And we did that. I was a part of the organization that made that happen. See, those are quantifiable results, right? So you want to make sure that when you try to elevate from good to great, that it's not just about having action, but it's about having action with an impact. All right. Now, here are the three questions that you need to always ask yourself. The first question is, what unique gift or talent do I have that allows me to solve a unique problem on my campus? See, if you can start thinking about how you are uniquely situated and gifted to be able to help or solve a unique problem on your campus, you build the habit of being able to see problems as an opportunity. Problems are not something you should run away from. Challenges are not something you should run away from. They are an opportunity for you to use your gift that you are uniquely gifted with, that only you have. There's a special talent or special je ne sais quoi that you have that allows you to be able to tackle an issue in a way that it doesn't feel like work. Yes, it may be challenging, but it's fulfilling because you are operating in your space. You're staying in your lane. So when you start to think about that, then now you're training your brain to be able to find issues that you are uniquely positioned to resolve. And when you do that, people are like, "Oh my goodness, why are you able to solve everything that you do? Why are you able to tackle every challenge you take on?" The secret is you have a ringer. You're only taking on challenges that you know you can win because it allows you to operate in your gift. So you want to ask the question, what or how does my unique gift help me solve a unique problem on my campus? Once you start to do that, then you start to build some discipline. Then it's time to expand that question and ask, how can I make a positive impact in my community? When I was in college, I was a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, the first and the finest, the only frat that matters, not even a conversation. But it was only two of us on campus, and we were doing all this fundraising, and we got all this money from the students on campus, and we sent the check off to a national organization for like $5,000. We thought we were big time. But the only thing we got back for that $5,000 that we took from the students on the campus, that we took from the people in the community, was a thank you letter. That's it. So we said, how can we better use that same $5,000 to be able to make a positive impact right here in the community of San Marcos, Texas, so that that money that we take from the community can go right back to it and be amplified? Yeah, that's the type of impact we're talking about. What is something that your community is desperately lacking, and how can you use the privilege and resources that you have as a student on your campus, the budget that you have in your organization, or your ability to be able to galvanize people to meet that need? Once again, you are training your brain to look at challenges as opportunities for you to strategically partner with yourself, with others, with other organizations, and with community leaders to meet a need. Can you imagine if every time you heard an issue, you immediately thought, I know someone gifted enough to handle that. I know someone that's talented enough to be able to resolve that. We can match people to these issues. So now we have people that are happy to work in an area that is challenging and difficult because for them, It allows them to use their gift. Now you're not only doing something that's just action to say that you're doing it for the sake of doing it, for the sake of tradition, but you were doing it in a way that shifts the culture and transitions people to see things in a way they've never seen it before. What impact, what positive impact can you make in your community? That next semester, we did the same exact fundraiser. But instead of taking that $5,000 and sending it off to a national organization, we raised about eight, and we used it to be able to donate to an African American history museum that was in the area, to be able to help give students a scholarship for oratorical contests, and to be able to help give folks a book scholarship. And we did this as undergraduate students. We helped folks to be able to continue their college career. We made an impact directly in the community by making sure that we looked at our challenges as opportunities. And here's the last thing. How can the energy and effort that I'm putting in now impact me for my future career? So you would be amazed at how many folks do stuff just for the sake of doing it, right? They do it because they're hanging with their friends. It's cool, it's fun, all that. But how does that prepare you for the next level? There are so many things that you can do right now that you don't have to wait for a job or a degree to be able to get a skill set, to be able to get experience in. You don't have to wait for any of that. You can go to Google University and learn almost anything. So what you waiting on? But I do know that the folks who have experience are the folks that get hired first. Jobs always require some level of experience, even when they're like entry level jobs. It's amazing how it's like, I'm fresh out of college. Where am I supposed to get that experience from? You're supposed to get that experience in your student leadership activities. So once again, let's go back to this whole accountant thing. So let's say math is your thing. Then you should be the accountant or the secretary or whoever handles the finances, the treasurer for your organization. Because then that math is mathing. So now when you go for one of the big three firms and they ask, well, tell me a little bit about what you know about this field. You can say, I was a treasurer for my chapter, I was a treasurer for our regional organization, and I was a treasurer for the national organization. I was able to manage and navigate a budget of, $300,000, $400,000. I was able to find, these type of excess. And because of finding that excess, now I was able to turn that into ways that we can use those funds more effectively. So now you got some experience. You still got to have all the great things that you did with the organization. You still got to hang out with like-minded folks, but your experiences were directly tied to your future. You had the opportunity to learn the things that you are going to do when you grow up right now. So take the opportunity, take the time to put in that work, step away from some of the social things, and lean into the things that are going to be more geared toward your career. Because when you can answer those three questions on a consistent basis, when it's time for you to transition from being just a student leader to being a leader in corporate America, or a leader in your community, or a leader in your church or your family, wherever you're trying to lead, you would have trained your mind to have the vision of a leader, to be able to make a noticeable, quantifiable impact in the spaces that you occupy. Hope those tips are good for you. Follow me at chriscspeaks.com. I love you like a fat kid love cake. We'll see you later.